ranking the 13 mainline Assassin's Creed games.
Number 8. Unity. Let's not beat about the bush here. Only Cyberpunk 2077 has launched in a worse state than Unity did. In Unity, we had missing faces, floating architecture, light shows instead of graphics, entire missions that appeared and disappeared at will, falling through the map, getting stuck in the air, dying while sitting on a bench, and a list that is so long and varied that a video just listing the issues would be over an hour long. At launch, the game was a catastrophic, unfinished failure. But something raises it to 8th on this list. Despite the issues and challenges of its launch, Unity is a great story. Arno's journey is one many of us could relate to. A lot happens around Arno that he slowly wakes up to and notices, and then decides to do something about it. It is a much better look at what happens when a man so highly trained is pushed to the absolute brink. He becomes uncaring, and we see how dangerous to everyone in the vicinity that becomes. But with the free expansion of Dead Kings, given away free to every player due to the terrible launch state, the character is saved and brought back from that brink in a beautiful character-driven story. Mechanically, we have the black box assassinations that offered a more nuanced approach to assassinations. We have the ability to choose to free run up, down, or across with alternate button inputs, something so drastically missing now. We have a great fledgling co-op experience, which can also be done solo for an additional level of challenge, and some absolutely gorgeous graphics, even 10 years later. But even with these positives, there were still challenges in design that would lower Unity's place in the list. Animation-locked parkour, for example. Gone was the incredible freedom of movement from the previous games. Instead, you had to wait for an animation to complete before doing something else, something that still plagues the series now. The nameless, faceless, and voiceless modern-day protagonist completely detaches you from the modern-day story. But mostly, it was the bugs. And I'm not talking about the catastrophic launch bugs, but the ones that persist, even to this day. If Ubisoft had put the care into this title that CD Projekt Red put into Cyberpunk, the conversation would be far different about the game 10 years after its launch in 2024. Instead, they patched the biggest issues to get the game mostly playable, and immediately moved on to something new, leaving what could have been great to remain a buggy and horrible mess to play, and leave it languishing in the lower half of the series rankings.